Okay, we're testing the sound, and I still have something in my eye. Pup. It's going to drive me insane. I'm going to die. From clawing my own eyeball out. Because whatever has been in there for like 24 hours now. That's an exaggeration. This is my eye at like 9 p.m. last night. I'm just mad about it still. Alright, let's try this for real. Again, apologies if it looks like I got punched in the eye or if my one eye starts tearing. There's something in it and I can't get it out. Hello, and welcome to the 90th episode of the Once Upon a Corgi Podcast. I am your human host, Gabby, and we are joined today by all three animals. So if you hear crunching or rustling, that is them. We are a Crafty Puppy podcast coming to you from a very snowy southern Connecticut. You can find me everywhere online as Gabrielle's and on my hand-dyed yarn at Once Upon a Corgi and onceuponacorgi.com. Thank you so much to all returning viewers for coming back, and hello and welcome to all new viewers. Thank you so much for checking us out. All the show notes will be down below this video, and we do have a Ravelry group which is semi-active. I'm terrible at posting on there, so apologies for that. All the links below will, all the links for that will be below the video. We are back. We did not podcast last weekend because we had the pop-up shop with Fuse Fiber Studios at her... I'm sorry, I'm blinking so much. It's now got something in my other eye. No luck. We're just gonna keep going with it. I think I figured out what it is, but it's still there. Yeah, let's launch into everything. We do have a couple of events coming up. I have a preview party / trunk show the weekend of March 23rd, so the 22nd and the 23rd. Oh my god, I can't do this. We're gonna try that again. I think I got everything out. Oh, we will see. I don't know what my hair is doing anymore. Did I do anything? Yes, trunk show. So I have a trunk show at Knit Locally in Gaithersburg, Maryland, March 23rd, which is a Saturday. And we are doing a preview party the night before, March 22nd. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. There's going to be drinks and pastries, and we'll do a little yarn tasting area, and it'll just be small, intimate, first look at the trunk show and get to chat. So that is what's coming up next, and we have a ton of stuff coming up in April, and I will get into that closer to those dates. That is it for administrative stuff, so let us get into the crafting. I am wearing my Betty dress by Sew Over at London in some double gauze, purple with sparkly print fabric. I think this is one of my favorite dress patterns to sew, and it's definitely my favorite material to make it out of. I'm fighting everything in my life. Nope, it's still in my eye. This is it. This is the end of me. We have a finished object parade for you today. So I will start off with what I finished first. Okay, are you recording? Yes. Whew. It has been a day. A day. So I just started editing the podcast and realized that the first 20 minutes I did not hit record. So as of right now, you have seen me introduce everything, get something stuck in my eye, fix it, get it restuck in my eye, and fix it again, and tell you what I'm wearing. And then I have a ton of finished objects. So we are going to redo the finished object train. Let's get started. The first one is, we're going to go in backwards order because I put this on, and we'll just do that. My first finished object is the Shady Side Pullover by Samantha Guerin Designs, and this is knit out of my hand-dyed yarn, and it was designed in my yarn as well. I used the colorways Moonlight, which is this mustardy yellow, in Nightmares Plus 10, which is the black stripes, on my Audrey base, which is 100% superwash BFL, and Fig Lace, which is the 70-30 kid mohair silk blend. I do have some Audrey skeins up in the shop. I don't dye it a ton because I have to hand wind it off of cones, but it is one of my favorite bases. It is so nice to wear. It's been super squishy. It's a top-down raglan style pullover with the slouchy ease underarms, which I love, but they're not so far out that you can't wear like a shoulder bag. It does have this really nice raglan seam detail with a faux seam. so you do get some structure in the sweater and not just the like loosey-goosey could be draping off your shoulders after a couple wears that a lot of raglans could do. It does have a folded brim for the collar. I'll stand up. I did crop mine a little bit so it ends, my hips start here, so it does come just to the top of my hips. It's got a split hem, which is a detail I really like. I haven't done that with any sweaters, and I'm very excited to wear it over jeans or like high-waisted pencil skirts, and even this dress. It works out quite nicely. The sleeves are shorter, let's see if I can pull them down, than what I usually wear. I thought I was going to run out of yarn, and I came quite close, but I do push up my sleeves anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I love this pattern. It was such a nice, easy knit. It was a little bit vanilla, a little bit of thinking, and it was kind of just what I needed to pick up something and be a little bit mindless. The pattern is out on Ravelry. It was released last week, just before the pop-up shop, and I am just ecstatic for this design, for Sam, and for all the work she's been doing on these. This is also a very Sam-heavy podcast again. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. So there we go. This is my Shady side pullover, and I love it. Our next finished object is another Samantha Guerin Designs, and that is our Electric Love Shawl. We have finished it. It is washed. It is blocked. The ends have been woven in. And this is a 2-color brioche wrap with a little bit of garter and lace. And this was knit out of my hand-dyed yarns, Once Upon a Corgi, and the colorways Blood Moon, and the red is Like My Cold Dead Heart. These were the colors that she used to design the shawl, so now I have a shop sample that is mine, and it is on my Tesla base, which is a 70-2010 BFL silk cashmere, which is just beautifully drapey and luxurious, and I love it. I love it so much. Oh, it's so nice. It's so squishy. I love the brioche. It was such a good knit. I don't know why it took me so long to finish it. It's got the right amount of brioche, and then you're into different stitch textures, so you don't get too bored too quickly. Oh, it was so nice to work on. It was so nice to finish finally after being on my needles for like 8 months. I don't know why it took me so long to do this. I really don't. But now I have it done, and I love it. I love the shape of this because you can just do one of these and be all squishy up in it. So nice. I love it so much. I love brioche. I love giant shawls. So this is finally done. My needles are officially free of all shawls, so now I might cast on one. Who knows? We don't know. I haven't decided. Ugh, it's so good. I'm so happy with this. I think I will reblock it eventually. I do want to get those Knit Picks combs to help block out straight lines. I did block this on a table, so I didn't have all the room in the world, but it works right now, and I love it. I'm very glad to have a shawl of my own instead of stealing Sam's. Gonna nicely roll this up. Now I definitely have too much coffee in my system, and I think I'm overtired. So it's great. This is fun. Our last finished object that is knitting is a super easy brioche cowl. This is a 2-color brioche cowl done in the round. It's got a little bit of stockinette on the top and bottom, and I knit this out of my hand-dyed yarn one more time on the Cecil base, which is 100% BFL in an Aran weight in the colors Liberries Volume 1 and Like My Cold Dead Heart. And this is a sample for a brioche class that Sam and I are teaching at A Stitch in Time in Bethel. The class is April 13th. You have to call the store for sign-ups. There's 10 spots. I believe 5 of them have already been filled. And Eva asked us if we would consider teaching a brioche class since both of us love it so much. And we decided we would. We're going to teach it together because neither of us have taught anything like this before. And I'm super excited to kind of dive into the teaching knitting world. I knit this on a size 8 or 9. I don't remember. I wrote it down because it's on the class sheets. So when I make a project page, I will let you know. And it was just a very mindless, super fast whooshing by knit, which I think is exactly what I needed after working on Jake's sweater and the shawl and other sweaters that just sort of took forever in my brain, even though it's March already, but it felt like February was like 6 years long. I'm just really in it for the quick knits right now. I love it. It's such a cozy cowl. I was wearing it this morning when I went to the store to go get eye drops to try and clean my eyeball out, and Iron wore it the other day because he looked so dapper in it. I had to put it on him. It was such a good quick knit. It just used 2 balls of yarn. I believe I have 10 to 15 grams left of each ball. I think I might even just start digging through my stash and knitting a couple of these as quick gift knits just to have on hand and to kind of do a fast gratification thing. I feel like that's what I need right now. I'm super excited for this class. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Oh, it's just so squishy. It's like rustic but soft. It's not itchy, but it feels like it's gonna take a beating. Those are my knits. I feel like I flew through them. Did I start a timer? I did. I did fly through them a little bit. I don't know what else to say besides I enjoyed all 3 of them, even though they all took vastly different amount of times to knit. This took me about a week to do. I did cast it on like the Tuesday of last week, right before the pop-up shop. So I had this knit on during the pop-up and I cast it on during the pop-up. So less than a week it took me to knit this, which was great. Oops, I got a little loose stitch there. I did block it. I'm going to reblock it now that it's got dog hair on it and bring it in for the sample for the class. Yeah, a lot of my projects I can't show you at the moment because some of them are gift knits, some of them are test things, so I can't do it. But I am going to take a bunch of pictures, and when I can show you everything I've been working on, I will just have another parade of FOs. The other thing I've been doing is sewing. I do have highlights on my Instagram, Gabigail's, not my business one, Once Upon a Corgi, of all my sewing projects, and I cut out the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons using this fabric. I think I talk about that in the next section. And I have almost finished. Let me scoot over. My fairy witch skirt. And now I can get excited about it all over again, because now I have to talk about it again, because you missed all of it except for the last like 5 seconds. So this is the Pinterest inspired fairy witch tulle skirt queen princess outfit frosting sew of my dreams. That is the official title, and you can't stop it. I sewed this using mostly self-drafted patterns and a lot of Googling, so I will walk you through all the layers of what I've done, and I tried to take pictures, as you saw on Instagram, so I think I might make a blog post about it to explain it a little bit better / keep track of what I'm doing. We'll see. Where the blog will be, I don't know. I wanted to restart my blog for a while, never got to it. So, layer 1. Also, pardon Barnaby's appearance. While I was draping things, the cat was playing with the skirt underneath and knocked her over twice, and her head rolled away, and I don't know where it is. It's in the bedroom, I think. Where? I don't know. This is a burgundy knit fabric I got from Affordable Fabrics in Rocky Hill, where everything is $2.99 a yard and nothing hurts. It has got a lot of stretch to it, it has got a lot of drape to it, and I love it. My original plan was to do a simple full circle skirt, but the math I used did not work out all the way. It did not come all the way around my waist. I don't know what I did wrong. I will figure that out later. So what I did was cut out the full circle skirt and turn that into the front, and then I cut out 2 rectangular trapezoid panels for the back and gathered everything down to 28 inches, which is what my waist is. Barnaby's is 26, so this is a little bit big on her. I did French seams unnecessarily for the pockets, but I did learn how to sew pockets in to French seams, so I do plan on using that in the future. Because it's a knit fabric, it doesn't fray, so I didn't need to do any of that, and I wasted about 3 hours. which is fine. Now I know how to do it. The pockets are big enough for my phone, not my hand. Not that mad. I'll be okay. I haven't hemmed the skirt yet. I have to sit down and remember how I do that and measure it and figure it out. I can't quite get the mannequin to be my height without messing anything up, and Jake is working this week, so he hasn't been home for me to tell him to measure my skirt. Nor do I think I trust his ability to do it without giving me a weird answer. So that is our plan for tonight after working. And after I do that, I will take photos. I think I'm just going to do a simple one fold hem because it is a knit fabric. Again, I'm not too worried about the fraying. So that is layer number 1. It is not static free. It did have some static when we were cutting out the fabric at the store. My backup plan is I have some non-static fabric, lining fabric from the mock-up of the wedding dress when I thought I was going to make one for my wedding in my trunk. So if this is super staticky, I'm just going to adjust that skirt, tack it in, and have a lining in it. Layer 1 of our tulle is this matte burgundy tulle I got at Joann's. It was $1 a yard because everything's on sale. And then because coupons, I ended up getting it 20% off the whole order, all $6. So that was good. Love a bargain hunt. It's a full circle layer, so it's 2 half circle skirts seamed together. I just use a regular straight stitch with a little bit longer of a length on the regular tension to sew it together, and that worked out fine. I did do some reading about stitching tulle, and that seemed to work out the best. I think that's what they suggested. I do have to hem it a little bit. By hem it, I mean cut it, because tulle doesn't fray, which is fantastic. I did gather it down a little bit just to fit the waist, and there is a slit in the back for the zipper. So layer number 1, and this is definitely adding the volume that I want down at the bottom that I'm looking for, but not at the top. I don't like gathers a lot because I feel like it just, I'm not pear shaped, I'm more like 2x4 shaped, but I feel like in tulle it makes me feel bigger than I actually am. So I don't like doing gathers a ton. I have a couple dresses that do it, but I prefer pleats. So I didn't want 2 layers of tulle with major gathers. The top layer, which is the second layer of tulle, is the same color. It's actually the tawny port color of tulle from Joann's. And this is the shiny version. They have a shiny and a matte. They did not have the matte when I picked up the second layer. So we got shiny, and I think it just adds a little bit of glitter and glam to this frosting. So this, I did 2 1.5 yard panels that I sewed at the sides and gathered down to 28 inches. So this gives me the slight poof that I want at the hips for that fairy tutu-y feel, because I just want a slight tutu, not full tutu. And again, I just have to hem this. I'm going to hem them at different lengths, I believe, just to give it a little bit more of a flowy, free-flowing feel. And then I just used the knit fabric for a waistband. I did interface it, and I did hand stitch using a whip stitch the waistband to the knit lining on the inside, so there are no raw edges there at all. Onto the back side, I have to take my basting stitches still. I hand gathered all the tulle. It just seemed to be the easiest thing for me. Layering everything took a lot longer than I anticipated because the skirt was flat, but I couldn't figure out how to gather up the tulle layers without sewing the side seams together, and there's no back seam on them. So that was pretty fiddly. I have the thread there. But I did just cut into the tulle a little bit to get to the zipper. I just put in an invisible zip, my best one yet. I'm very proud of it. And I will be putting a hook and eye or the hook and bar on the top of the waistband just to hold this extra inch close. And that way, if it stretches out or any weight gain or loss happens just because of stress, I don't tend to lose or gain weight drastically. So usually I can tell when my things, like my clothes, aren't going to fit anymore, but that way I just have that little extra of snugness if I need it, or loosen it out a little bit if I have to. We'll see. And yeah, this is it. The only adjustment I would do is maybe add slits into the pockets, but I have no problem hiking up the tulle to get into the pockets. I believe that's all I covered in the beginning. Again, I'm going to say this about 100 more times. I want to live in the skirt forever. The only problem I ran into was static. And again, I have the liner. If I need to put it under the skirt, I'm going to do a test. But I did read somewhere about using water to dampen your tulle before sewing it to keep the static electricity down. And I believe in the next section, I talk more about that. So we're going to time travel back in time to the next section. This is a disaster edit of a podcast. Not surprised you're asleep already, Audrey. I might just edit in the skirt. The trick that I read somewhere online is to spray it with water. So this is just water and a little bit of lavender essential oil. I use this to help spray down the work surface before I dye. So then when you put the lids down, the dye powder wants to go to water. So it kind of sticks to the towels that I have that are damp, and then it doesn't smell like hot sheep as much. So I just sprayed it with this until it was cool to the touch, but not wet, and that helped a ton. I have been spraying it every so often just to keep the static electricity down and to keep the cat from it. The knit fabric does have some static, so I'm going to wear it with wool tights, see how it feels, and if it's too much, I do have some non-static lining in my fabric stash, I believe, that is already in a skirt pattern from when I was mocking up making my own wedding dress. And my backup plan is to just tack it into the lining and then have a non-static lining skirt. Again, after I do the hem and the photo shoot, that's sort of when I'll know. And my plan is to do the Agnes top in the, let me get it. I'm in my sewing corner, so it shouldn't be too much trouble for me to do this. My plan is to sew the Agnes top by tilling the buttons in the ruched v-neck style in this fabric to go with it, and I am so excited for it. I have it all cut out. I just have to sew it. I think I'm going to do that this week since we are, we just have to double check with our photographer about the photo shoot date since we do want a wintry feel for the photo shoot. We have to kind of get on that, even though I think we're going to do it on the spring equinox, which just makes my fairy heart even happier. Oh god, now I can't fold this. Alright, we're going to scoop back in. And I do have enough of that knit fabric left, I think, to make a pencil skirt or two. So then I can have a top in that fabric and a bottom in that fabric. And I think I have enough left of this knit fabric to do like an Ogden cami. So I might try and do that. My other plan is to get some mustard yellow fabric that I saw at Affordable Fabrics and do an Ogden cami to wear with this over the summer and just float around the outside in my tulle skirt and only wear this because this is my only outfit. This is my new capsule wardrobe. The end. I'm so happy with it. I really just I wanted to wear it to the vet the other day so bad, but it wasn't hemmed. Couldn't do it. I have to hem it first. Oh, it just makes me so happy. This is my frosting sew for 2019, and I could not be more thrilled with it. I am also thinking about doing some more practical sews, like a robe, but first this. I'm never not gonna wear this. And that is what I've been working on. I have not touched anything else I can show you. I have to work on, my plan now is to pick up Jake's sweater and the Ishal pullover now that I have a bunch of samples off the needles and have freed up some of my knitting time. While I also work on some upcoming designs that I'm so excited about and do a little bit more sewing. I do have some fabrics pulled aside for a new SEA gown, but let's finish this first. Ugh, I'm so happy. My only debate is putting in like a little hole in the tulle over here for the pockets, but I don't think it'll be too much trouble for me to just hike up the tulle and put my phone in my pocket. I can do that. I'm an adult. So with that, we're going to do shop update news and beyond crafting, since this could run long just for me gushing about this skirt. I kind of want to put it on now, but I have to die after this. Ugh. I'm just so happy. Alright, if you are not here for anything else, thank you so much for watching. And if you would like to hear about the shop news and what we've been doing besides the sewing fairy costumes, let us continue. We will be having a shop update tonight. I know, it's short notice. Friday. Yep, on a Friday at 6 p.m. at night. We're doing it. We've been debating doing a Friday shop update for a while. I've been sort of thinking about better shop update days for you guys, what'll be easier for you to get to, when are you most likely to want to look at yarn, and so we're gonna try Friday nights for a little bit. Everything that will be going up into the shop is all the leftovers, not the leftovers, all the things that followed me home from the pop-up shop last week, which was amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough for coming out, for hanging out, talking to us, bringing your projects, showing us your yarn, shopping with us. It was so lovely to be able to sit down and talk to everybody, show Audrey off, even though she was a little hesitant at first until the treats started coming out. It was just wonderful. I can't thank Rebecca enough for hosting me for this, and I'm so glad that we have some local Connecticut indie dyed friends that will let us use their space like that. So there is a huge update. Tons of yarn is going up in the shop. Sweater quantities, single skeins, basically every base we carry. And, oh, let me go get the new colorway. That'd be helpful. So what I'm gonna do is just go through a little bit of what's going up. Some of these were in the shop before. Some of them are new. So we will have Mauve-tone. I'm not gonna list the bases because there's so many. Rose Gold. Lady of Shallot, which I think is turning into like a spring colorway. I'm obsessed. I kind of want a sweater. Like My Cold Dead Heart. Dark and Gloomy. Who holds yarn like that? Dark and Gloomy. Towers Over the Thames. Something Sinister. Moonlight. Warm and Cozy. Blood Moon. Ghoul Haunted Woodlands of Ware, which I think is going to go into hibernation for a little bit until the fall. I feel like this is a really good fall colorway. And that's it. I really hope you can't see into this bucket because there's clubs in here. And we are debuting a new colorway that showed up at the pop-up only on Isaac Decay, but I dyed some up on Isaac Fingering, which is our 100% superwash Polworth base, and that is Depths Below. And it's just this green blue tonal that dips into like dark tealy grays, and we have been trying to work on our blues lately, and I think this is perfect. When we first started dyeing, we had a colorway a little bit lighter than this called Gilded Teacup, but I think this is just more of an adult like tealy blue. Like that was the blue when we first learned about dyeing, but now this is what we can do with all of our skills. I'm so excited for it. I really want a sweater out of this. Or I really want somebody to make a sweater out of this. Okay, can't show you the rest. I hope you couldn't see in the bucket. So again, those will be up in the shop tonight, Friday, March 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's at onceuponacorgi.com. I really hope you guys can make it. Yay! So the rest of this is Beyond Crafting, which is what we have been up to besides all of this crafting. And the answer is reading. Sort of. Just this week. So we did the pop-up shop last weekend, and that was a lot of fun, and we got to hang out with all of our knitting friends. It was such a good time. And then this week has been catching up on emails and inventory and trying to get our head back in the game kind of thing. And so I'm gonna grab the book now before I forget. We decided to start reading before bed to kind of help us wind down from the day, and that was a complete and utter failure. I don't know why I keep trying this, but I do. So I would get into bed about 9-10 o'clock, and I'd say, oh, I'll read for an hour, and then I'll go to bed. So I picked up the third book of the Court and Thorns and Roses series, A Court of Wings and Ruin, on Tuesday, and I finished it on Wednesday. Did I pick it up on Monday? I picked it up on Monday and I finished it Wednesday at like 11 p.m. So that didn't work out. It was amazing. The beginning was a little bit slow, but is the third in the series. You guys, this book series, I can't even. It was so good. It kept your interest, it kept not changing, but it gave you enough of a plot twist that everything wasn't so predictable. The beginning was a little bit, but that's the beginning. It was so good. There is a fourth book. I am on the waiting list for the Kindle version, but word on the street is they have an actual book in the library, so I might go to the library tomorrow after Knit Group and just pick it up because I can't wait this long. I did borrow all 3 books from my mom, so I might just reread all 3 and then get the 4th one next weekend. I don't know. I don't know why I keep trying to read before bed. I'm not a read a couple chapters a night kind of girl. I am a sit down and literally bring me into this world until I don't remember who I am kind of reader. It's why I love fantasy novels. It's why I love books with more than 700 pages. I just want to be completely immersed in whatever I'm reading. And that means that I completely lose track of everything else. Like sleeping, or eating, or working, and just become the book. That's why I read Lord of the Rings in less than 3 days. That was such a good weekend. I need a weekend like that again. So instead of trying to read only I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how to wind down at the end of the day. Reading's not working, but I'm going to continue doing it, and I don't care because I love them. And I'm just really glad I found a really good book series. I do want to reread Harry Potter. I just have to get them from the library because I can't open my books. Or at least get, I think, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th from the library. I can open 6 and 7. I might be able to open 5 too. I'm just in like a reading, like I just want to read. March and February, I just want to read. We're a huge reading family. My dad has so many books. We had to have a library room at one point, and then it became a bedroom because there's too many of us. But I would highly recommend this series if you are into fantasy romance at all. I'm a huge sucker for it. Not for kids. It's in the young adult section. It wasn't in the teen section. It might have been in the teen section in one of the libraries, but I don't know. I'm a terrible judge of character for that. Again, I read Lord of the Rings in like 5th grade. It was just so good. It was just so good. Like, I really just want to sit down and reread everything. I will say that with this book series, I read the book and then listened to the audiobook. So now I've finished this book, I will listen to the audiobook of it and then start the next one. I don't have a problem. You do. That's really been my beyond crafting. I've started rewatching The Great British Bake Off because we are going to be baking all but 2 of the desserts for the wedding. Right? Yeah, we're gonna buy some sugar-free goodies because we know some guests will have to be sugar-free, and we found a bakery that makes really good cannoli. So we're gonna have them make the cannolis because I don't want to deal with that. So I've been scouring the internet for baking recipes and patisserie goodies. So we've been watching The Great British Bake Off to kind of get us in the mood to start testing all the recipes now. So then the couple weeks before the wedding, we can just have a gigundo baking spree and, quote Paul Hollywood and Julia Child while we do it. Super relaxing, right? Nothing. What could go wrong? Oh God. So we've been doing that, and then we had a vet appointment yesterday for the pups. Totally fine. It was their yearly checkup, and they did great. Poor Iron has to go on a major diet. He is a bulky puppy. It is all muscle. I don't think it's fat. He doesn't feel fat. He is dense. He is a dense little sausage. But because of his long back, we are starting to get worried about what problems this could cause him in the future. So he is on a wed shred diet now, as we are so lovingly calling it. Our goal is to have him down by 10 pounds by the wedding, which will be about his next yearly checkup. So we told him he's got to get on the wed shred. So we will see how that goes. We've already decreased his food and we're upping his activity. He's already a pretty active dog. So we will see what happens. He goes for bulk, not lean. I don't know. Well, this is going to be an adventure. And yeah, the next couple weeks are going to be pretty busy. We have a ton of stuff going on in March. We've got a bridal show, or like one of those bridal expo shows at our venue that we are going to, so I can try and sneak in and claim squatters' rights and live there. We'll see if that works. We have the bridal party, a lot of wedding stuff this month. We have a party, so all the bridal party maids, groomsmen, whatever people can meet because they're all from different friend groups. That's terrifying. And I think we have an SEA event after the trunk show. Like the weekend after. So we have the trunk show, and we're going to be visiting Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Studios, and I'm so excited to see her in person. We missed each other at Vogue last year, but not this time. This time I will see her. And then the weekend after that we have the SEA event, which I believe you're trying to recreate a painting. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's I feel like I'm coming out of the darker part of the season, and so ideas are going. It might just be because I've had so much coffee already. So we'll see what the next couple months bring. And with that, I'm going to let you go so I can edit this and dye some yarn. Thank you so much for watching, supporting the shop, supporting the podcast, and listening to me ramble about fairy queen skirts. This is the only outfit you will see me in forever, so next week on Fairy Tulle Skirt. Thank you so much for watching.